Hello, 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 and welcome back to Boss Talk. It is your girl, Sean LeRae, and we are happy to be here on yet another Wednesday. So, I want to know, like always, what's going on in your great big old lives out there on this fabulous hump day. So, Wednesdays is my favorite day of the week because it means that the weekend is coming again. And so I want to know what you're up to this week. I know that I want to just give a shout out once again to our fallen soldiers and our military who are still out there protecting us and doing what they do in honor of post Memorial Day. So, this Wednesday, what is going on for you all? I've had quite a hectic day myself. Had quite a few gifts today, actually. I had the opportunity to speak to a woman who is courting me to speak at an event for breast cancer awareness next month. So I'm very excited to be able to do that. We're working on getting some things together for that. And then I had the distinct honor to serve on a panel for a major television network organization today, and that was quite an honor. We talked about anxiety over the Black Girl Magic. So that's quite a conversation that we'll maybe chat a little bit about tonight. And so say hi to me out there in the chat. Let's take this time to tag a friend, call your friends, let them know, hey, Boss Talk is on. Get on there and chat with Sean LeRae and her guest tonight, which I can't wait for y'all to meet her. Hello, Mr. Seals. William Seals is in the house. Thank you for tuning in yet again, sir. And thank you. My eyewear is fabulous now, isn't it? Thank you ever so. You all know that it's a fun accessory for me. I discovered these glasses, and I'll be honest with you, they remind me of my childhood. When I was a little girl in Toledo, Ohio, I had, get ready, pink frosted cat eye glasses. Yes. And the truth is I would ditch them on the playground. I would lose them all the time on purpose. And so my father was like, when I went away to school and I came home with a pair of designer cat eye glasses, my dad was like, how much did you pay for those? And when I told him, he told me I owed him a whole lot of money because I would ditch them on purpose on the playground. And look now, they're my favorite thing. So I have them in all shapes and colors. So keep tuning in and you'll get to see all the different shades and colors. Do I need to wear them? Absolutely not. But do I want to wear them? Absolutely. I love them. So it's a lot of fun, which is what I do. I like to have fun. So, hey, Gigi, thank you for tuning in. Beautiful. Happy to be here. Thank you. We are happy to have you once again. Um, and I just want to really express how grateful I am for those of you who tune in weekly and come in and check us out here at Boss Talk. I appreciate my Boss Talkers so much, and I appreciate the conversation that you all help generate on this platform because it's really important stuff. And this, as you all know, is May 31st. So we are about to jump out of May into June. Now, for those of you who are outside of California, I got to tell you, I've been feeling some type of way about California because I keep track of the weather on my phone. And I went to the weather yesterday, and I always look at my hometown weather. And yesterday in Toledo, Ohio, the high was 83 degrees and sunny. And here in California, sunny California, that is, it was 69 and cloudy and gloomy. I was not a happy camper. So so all the time I spend talking smack to you Ohioans about your weather, I offer an apology today because your weather is better than ours for the last week or so. I'm feeling away too, but it's okay, God. I know you got something in store for us here in Cali. So listen, y'all, it is the last day of Mental Health Awareness Month. And so I thought I would bring on a guest who knows quite a bit about all things mental health, wellness related, um, taking care of oneself, self care, all of those things. And I am very excited about my guest tonight. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her before I bring her in the house. So, tonight we are going to welcome to Boss Talk Miss Nisa Robinson. She has served others in the field of behavioral health and self development for over 20 years in various roles. She is a dedicated, no nonsense mindset and burnout prevention strategist, mentoring therapists, counselors, social workers, and professional women who are successful yet in burnout mode to prioritize self, prevent burnout, and keep doing what they love for longer. She's an author, speaker, facilitator, administrator, therapist, and passionate advocate for you first leadership in all areas of life. Using her life on demand framework, she teaches and guides others toward the commitment, courage, and consistency necessary to live their purpose and impact the world with their greatness. Ooh, I love that. Nisa holds a bachelor's degree in organizational management and a master's of science in social administration degree and credentials of licensed independent social worker supervisor and licensed independent chemical dependency counselor clinical supervisor. Nisa utilizes lessons from her personal transformation journey, years of experience, and concepts from the fields of neuroscience and psychology. Ooh, to help you develop an abundance mindset and accomplish your goals without the stress, overwhelm, and the long timeline. Nisa is married to her high school sweetheart and is a mother to their emerging adult daughter and enjoys good music, great books, and meaningful conversations. So, Boss Talkers, without another word from me, please welcome to Boss Talk, Nisa Robinson. Hello there.
Hello. Wonderful to be here with you
Yes,
and
it's so
all the peoples.
yes, and all the boss talkers.
Yes.
Yes. Well, Nisa, this has been a long time coming, as you well know. We have been chatting now for a few months. We
Yes.
started out, I remember now I met you on Clubhouse.
Hmm.
I saw you in a conversation on Clubhouse and was very impressed with your manner and what you had to say in that space. And I reached out to you on the back channels, which I learned how to do all that stuff during the
Yeah.
pandemic, and invited you to come on. And then we have played telephone tag. We have set appointments, which we have both missed on occasion. And finally, here we are. So I'm so happy that we made this happen tonight.
Yes. It was meant to be. We made it
Absolutely.
happen.
Yes, and it's a perfect timing as this is the ending of
Mhm.
mental health awareness.
Yeah.
So you've had your hands in all areas of mental health.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd say all areas of mental health, but it certainly feels that way. It certainly sounds like that when I hear other people talking about my life experience at times. But yeah, I'm very fortunate. That's the way, like, I'm very fortunate to have had many experiences from providing direct services and supervisory, managerial, administrative areas, and I really greatly appreciate all of those experiences and what they've taught me, like the people that I have been able to engage with in those various roles just bring about a richness to life that is really indescribable.
Oh, I love that. And I love that you use the word richness because that's one of my favorite
Yeah,
descriptors.
yeah,
It's very
it's good
rich. That
stuff.
is beautiful. That is so good. So how did
Mhm.
you end up in the mental health field?
Right. So I'm gonna give you this good old cliche answer because it's just like that's how it's got to be. But no, really, I and that cliche answer is this work found me. Like it
Yep.
really it found me. Uh, I was helping to canvas communities and help spread the word for outreach programs and helping to set up and things like that at 12 years old. Like I was actually working in the field and then I had a stipend. They call it a stipend, right? So the whole the labor laws and stuff. So we okay, everybody, we
Right,
okay.
right. That's good.
But I was yeah. It was a stipend, that I was getting to help to do that work, and so that's where it started for me. And my parents have been in the field of providing services to individuals um, most often in correctional facilities for many,
Mhm.
many years. And so I was exposed to the work that they were doing. And what I also believe spoke to my heart just as a child was that I saw the impact and the effect of untreated mental health disorders and unaddressed substance use going on all the time in
As a
the
child.
environment that I grew up in. The things that were going on in the neighborhood, and even within family, the things that were going on there. So I believe at some point it was what I was made for,
Yes.
and so that's how that this story starts. And as far as the rest of the trajectory that becomes the professional life, it was suggested to me that I go apply for a certain organization. They didn't even say you should go work at such and such. And I did that, and I had no idea really what I was doing or what I was getting myself into. And I went and I did that. And the rest is history. Actually, the organization that I've worked for, I've actually been there for almost 20 years as far as an employee. And
Mhm.
along the way, I have always also provided additional services, coaching and strategy services along the way. So it found me, it called me, that's how this works.
I love that. And that is so true. I feel the same. It definitely called me. And it called me much later in life. But as
Mhm.
I look back on the things that I used to do growing up, and as a young woman, and in college even, it was volunteering, working with
Mhm.
organizations that worked with children who maybe were living under economic disadvantage and all of that. And growing, I grew up in Toledo, Ohio, and that's another thing, y'all. We just found out that we are both fellow Ohioans. Nisa lives in Columbus, Ohio, as we speak, and grew up there. Oh my gosh, looking in the chat, speaking of Ohio, what's up, Kenny Ken? That is a childhood sweetheart and friend for life, Kenneth Cunningham. Welcome to Boss Talk, Candy Jick. Darling, how are you? So nice to see you. Thank you for tuning in. And well, how appropriate since we have an Ohio guest here. And Kenneth is a sort of recruiter. His company recruits high level employees in Ohio and surrounding areas. And so, just growing up in Toledo, we grew up kind of in the suburbs, and we did not see a lot of what you're talking about. But moving from Ohio um, to New York, because I mentioned to you that I started school at Ohio University, but I finished it at NYU in New York. And so
Mhm.
there I started to see things and started to
Yeah.
things. Worked for a program that I did, a job development and training program. So I worked with disadvantaged youth, ages, what was it? Gosh, I think it was like 19 to 24. No, I believe it's 16 to 24,
Mhm.
teaching them job development skills. They had classes for trade and all of that, but getting to see what that disadvantage looked like for
Mhm.
people who look like us. And all of that, I think, was building the foundation for me to
Mhm.
later land in this field, because I was a fully grown puppy when when I went back to get my master's. I was 50 years old when I went back to school. And I have a new producer that I want to introduce y'all to real quick. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I want y'all to say hello to the Boss Talk puppy. You not the absolute cutest.
Hello, hello, hello. Yes,
And
cute.
his name is
Cuteness.
Gentle. So y'all, Boss Talkers, say hi to Gentle. He's co-producing with Crystal and Moses. Don't you love him? He's from my neighborhood too.
Yeah.
He used to be one of mine. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about how we use animals in the work that
Mm.
we do, and our Gentle here is going to be trained to be a therapy doggy right here at Living Love Healing. Don't worry, friends, I didn't go get a puppy. I'm co-parenting. He belongs to Crystal. But isn't he wonderful? It's so funny because there are so many strategies now that we're learning about about the tools that we can use in therapy. And, look at this little gentle puppy face.
Yeah,
He definitely promotes calmness and healing, which is very much what we do. We help people to find that in their spaces, right? So,
absolutely.
so if y'all don't mind, just don't mind Gentle. He's going to sit here with us as we chat. The
Yeah,
little
definitely seems like has the right temperament.
He does. He
Yeah.
does. And I have some little pieces of chicken here in case he wants some chicken. You want some chicken? You want chicken? I wonder, he might not be a black dog. He ain't eat no chicken. I don't know. That's so racist. You're gonna have to put it. There he goes. There he goes. He's got it now. Yes, indeedy. So Nisa, as you do the work that you do, because I know that you've done you've worn every hat, and now you supervise. So tell us a little bit about the supervision work that you do.
Yeah, so I've provided supervision for individuals as students and then also, as employees. So, that is helping them to navigate the work that we do of coming alongside individuals and working through whatever is presenting itself in the sessions or the work that they are doing, help them to hone their clinical skills while also developing the internal capacity to hold the space that is
Mm.
necessary to be present for individuals and also care well for themselves.
Ooh, I like
And you mentioned it, in the introduction. It does not always land well on the ears for people to hear me say to live from a you first position, to prioritize you. And folks who go into this field, it's all about helping. They want to put their whole heart and soul into what they do, and that is absolutely necessary. After you've put your whole heart and soul into yourself, I want you to keep your cup full and
it.
serve from your saucer. So my
Ooh.
supervision style is, we definitely want to talk about modalities and the use of those modalities and techniques and skills. But we understand too that the therapeutic relationship with patients, with clients, is actually the most important element of the work that we're going to do. And in order to be able to show up in a way that you can fill that space and really be present for the person and develop that rapport in that way, you have got to be caring well for yourself. So we touch on all those things, the self-care piece of it as well during supervision, along with all the technical, techniques and skills and
Sure,
things that folks
sure.
develop. Yeah.
Yes, I love that, and I applaud you for teaching that you first method. And I like the how does that keep your say
Keep
that
your
again?
cup full and serve from your saucer.
Oh, I love that, girl. I love me a good metaphor. Keep your cup
Yeah.
full and serve from your saucer. That is
Yeah.
so good. And I love that you're teaching because, when you first start out in this field, you're in the helping profession, and
Mhm.
it is so easy to run full speed ahead, not look back,
Mhm.
not stop, not rest, not take good
Yes.
care. And feel guilty. A lot of clinicians feel guilty about taking care of self, about taking a break, about taking a vacation day, about, having a sniffle and staying home. And so I love that. And so, as y'all can see, you can write down that. I hope y'all have y'all diaries. I told you to get your pad and pencil, or maybe I didn't tell you tonight. Well, if you've been here before, you know that if this is your first time, get your pad and pencil because my guests always are dropping some diamond nuggets, and so I don't want you to miss any of those. So again, from Nisa, keep your cup full and serve from your saucer. That is so beneficial to the people that you work with. Now, how do you determine who you work with? Do you work for an agency that you act in the capacity of a supervisor?
Yes, generally for me, it's within the organization that I'm
Mhm.
working with that I provide supervision. There have been a couple of folks who outside of that, it's one-on-one. And I really am looking to work with folks who have a heart for what they're doing and also the willingness to continue learning, and
Mhm.
that includes learning about themselves
Yes,
along
indeed.
the way. So, yeah,
Yes.
looking for the folks who are teachable and who are willing to actually get into the action. A lot of what we do in this field, whichever angle we're coming at it, social work, counseling, psychology, wellness, whatever it is, self care, it is easy to get into that motivation and inspiration space where it feels nice and warm and fuzzy and cozy, and you feel all fired up and all of that, and then you leave and you don't execute anything, including what your supervisors like telling you to do that's going to be helpful and
Exactly.
beneficial for you, right? So, I
Yeah.
mean, you find that out along the way, but really, looking for folks who, they're in their programs, they have some goals in mind already, or are willing to explore, and they're teachable.
And that part is so important, the teachable piece.
Yeah.
Because now I'm finding that a lot of the younger therapists who are coming in, or newer therapists even, I could say, because this is often a second or third career for many people,
Mhm.
because you've gained the maturity to know yourself well enough to impart some of that knowledge and some of that to others. And I love that, there nowadays, it's I just don't feel like a lot of the therapists coming about are as humble as we were, as willing to listen and be teachable, in my experience, I guess I should say. And so I've been very fortunate, to have found some who are willing to um, to listen and to learn and to execute
Yeah.
and to value what's being taught to them. I think there are a lot of outside sources that are popping up now and providing therapy and providing the idea of therapy, and it's so super
Mhm.
simple and it's so this and that. And I want to be certain that I always keep the integrity in the field, the integrity of doing the work, doing the self reflection, doing the self care, having your own therapist, hello, somebody,
Mhm.
all of that, being able to, to have those things at the forefront of your mind, to be able to be that clinician that is sought after and well and much needed. Yes, Gigi understands that being teachable is important. Absolutely. Girls Like Me Global had a comment. She said, "Facts, target on target on target. Raise the roof." Yes, yes. So now, so you do that work for an agency, but then I know that you have your very own special work that you do outside of that work. So tell us a little bit about that, because I am super impressed with the title and what you do with your Life on Demand Academy. Tell us about that.
Yes. So I love a good acronym. First of all, like everybody has to understand that I don't know what it is.
I'm
It's
the
how it,
same.
co- it's how it comes to me. It just deposits into my soul in that way. So you must understand that I love a good acronym. So the words "Life on Demand" actually are acronyms. So it stands for Living Inspired for Excellence, and we do that through an on-demand lifestyle, mindset, and set of principles. And the
Ooh.
word demand stands for decide to execute massive and or meaningful action and non-negotiable discipline.
Oh, girl,
That's
stop. Say that again. You got to say that one more time. I like that. Oh, I
so
like
it's
that.
living inspired for excellence through an on-demand lifestyle, mindset, and principles, which means to decide to execute massive and or meaningful action and non-negotiable discipline. And within the organization, I provide individual and or group services as a strategist or a coach or a therapist. And then I also am a speaker as well. And I am helping individuals to break the burnout cycle,
Mm,
master their mindsets, achieve their success goals, and improve their relationships, so
mm.
that they can manifest a life that they absolutely love and are not trying to run away from, and so that they can do what they love for longer if they happen to be in the field, the helping professions. And what I, for whatever reason, the way I am fashioned, I'm able to take what I've learned from the concepts, around neuroscience that are given to us, from what we have learned about how our brains work, psychology, behavior modification, emotional intelligence, bring these things together in a very concise way. Like I like snack size strategies.
Oh, girl,
Snack
you killing
size
me.
strategies.
Snack size strategies. Y'all
Yeah.
heard it here first. She likes snack
Yeah.
sized strategies. Girl, but
Yeah.
my producers are like, she got to put that in the chat. So we need
Yeah.
the acronym in the chat. And
Oh, yeah.
when you get a chance, when you get a chance. But keep
Okay.
telling us about the snack sized, what is it? Snack sized.
Snack size
Strategy.
strategies. Yeah, because when I think about, how this kind of happens sometimes, develop an organization of your own, often you end up serving people who you are or were once like, right? And so
Yeah.
I'm no exception. And so I understand what it's like to be in the depths of burnout, unsure, unclear, don't know what you're doing, whether you're coming or going, what have you, not showing up in the way that I want to show up in my life, knowing that full well and not being sure about what to do about it. At the same time, life being so full that you send me an email newsletter with wonderful steps in it on how I can change my life, or you give me a workbook or something, and I'm capable, but in this life that I'm living right now, I got about 15 seconds worth of time and energy to be able to devote to something.
Yes.
Well, I
Yes.
need you to give me something very clear, specific, concise that I can do right now, immediately applicable. And when I do it, I'm going to get a result. And if I keep doing it compounded over time, I'm going to see an impact over the areas of my life. So that's what snacks it is. Give me simple, concise strategies, tips, skills, tools that can be immediately applied, that I can begin to stack, and then experience an impact.
Girl, you are killing me right now. I love all of that. I love all of that. Snack size strategy, something that we can do right now that I will begin to see some results and begin to compound it, one thing on top of the other, until I see long-term results. Diana Lane White, hello, sister girl. That's a coach. She's a transformational coach for I Am Transformational Coaching. And she says yes with 3 exclamation points. So she's feeling you too.
All right. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in, Miss Diana. Diana is also a therapist. We worked together at what was it? A group homes. What was it? Let me see. Optimus Youth Homes and Family Services. So we worked together there, ended up doing an event together, and then recognized that we were co-workers. So I love that. So I'm sorry. So not Diana, Nisa. It sounds like the work that you're doing is amazing, and I can tell just by the strategies that you're talking about that it's applicable and it's useful and it is results driven. Yeah. So can you talk a little bit about the results that you do get from the people that you work with?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've experienced quite a range. Of course, I've worked with quite a diverse group of people over the years. One of the stories that always stands out for me, there are many, but if I've worked with individuals who've also encountered the criminal justice system as well, and folks who have been incarcerated for great lengths of time for those types of charges that we as a society sometimes decide that there's no turning back from, right? And so I work with someone who was actually re-entering the community after 30 years of incarceration. And there was a situation that occurred in the person's life where their former belief system said, what I need to do, what I have to do, what I don't have any choice to do is to behave like I used to, which meant someone's life was actually in jeopardy. And we walked through the process of identifying how the beliefs that were formed that allowed them to get to that place in the first place, where they lived that life previously, weren't even theirs. Those beliefs were handed to you. You lived them out and you experienced the results that you did. And now you have a new opportunity to decide if you want to have those kind of beliefs and potentially results in your life. So we walked through belief system development, identifying cognitive distortions, developing counter statements for those, increasing emotional intelligence. We identify what's the action plan. This is the belief you want to have because it's connected to this type of life you want to have. Well, what are the actions you do day by day that will solidify and reinforce that belief that you can journal? I know somebody knew it. Somebody knew somebody was going to say journal, right? Like somebody was. But health and professionals around, somebody gonna throw the word journal out there. But how can you journal your reflections on a day-to-day basis to be able to see that I am becoming the person that I actually want to be. This individual went on to do that, to work through these action plans that we were developing, and started to participate in art, using it as the part of their therapeutic process, as part of their coaching experience that they were going through, and became someone who was helping in the space, like in the studio spaces. So went on to actually develop goals for starting their own business, right? So that is a complete transformation from an individual who sat across from me saying, like, they were basically saying their goodbyes to me because they knew that they were getting ready to have to go do a thing. So that, like, that's a very severe type of example and transformation that a person experiences. But in a general way, the folks that I'm working with, they're going to literally learn that the belief system that I have is actually impacting how I experience my life, every area of it. And that's my relationships, how I am in the workplace. How is it that I think that it is not okay to take a day off? Where does all that come from? So breaking that down, what are the influences on those, and developing those action plans, and go from a person who's in burnout, workaholic state, not showing up for yourself or your family, to someone who has some boundaries and without apology. Boundaries without apology.
Yes,
right?
You are so screaming.
Some of the,
Yes. And I love that you gave that specific example, because I feel like if you can come back from that place, if someone can come back from that place, that's tipping right over the edge, then those of us who may have circumstances not quite that extreme can look at that and say, oh, wait, maybe this is possible. Maybe I don't have to walk around with my head spinning in burnout and not even recognizing, acknowledging, and knowing it. So I really appreciate that. Hey, Boss Talkers, what are some of the things that you do in your life until you see long-term results? What are the things, because there are many, as I said last week on the show, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So what are some things that you do that are actually positive things that actually work? Now, you have talked about the neuroscience behind all of this. So can you, and now you're making me sing with the neuroscience, because I love living in that space. So tell us a bit about how you incorporate the neuroscience and what that looks like in this space.
Yeah. So two things come to mind that I would really hope folks could grab hold of. We use this term, self-sabotage, right? And I get it. I use it myself. I actually try to use some different language sometimes, because here's what we understand is that everything we're experiencing is really happening between our left and right ear, right? Like, it's our brain. Everything that we're experiencing in this life is as a result of whatever combination of neurotransmitters, hormones, etc., how things are firing where. That is determining the type of experience that we are having. And the thing is, everything that we do actually impacts that. Diet, sleep, exercise, the thoughts that we have, the people that we're around, all of it, the environment, actually, all of it actually impacts that. But the point that I want to share is that our brain wants to keep us safe and conserve energy. Like, these are two of its primary functions: keep us safe. And safe means we steer clear from anything that causes us to experience an elevated emotion that's then interpreted as fear. Right. So at this point, because of all that everybody has experienced living in, chronic stress, trauma, little t trauma, big T trauma, what have you, there's much of our life that actually gets interpreted as fear, including I am uncomfortable and I am fearful about operating somewhere outside of what we call the comfort zone. I don't really feel like it's comfort zone. It's the known zone. Like, it's the familiar zone. Because when you think about it, I can't talk for nobody else, but I know in some of my life situation, wasn't nothing comfortable about it. Like, when I really thought about it and got right down to it.
But you knew about it. You knew it well. Yes.
Yeah, this is what you know. Your brain interprets that as safe, as homeostasis. This is what I know. And I want to keep my my vessel at homeostasis. So the thing is, when we get ready to step across a line, we get ready to step outside of a box that has been built for us, or one that we fashion for ourselves at this point. Your brain is sending off signals to don't do that. So you tell yourself, oh, I don't feel like it today. Like you've identified some goal that you have, but that goal is beyond the current identity that you have of yourself. So when you get ready to actually execute that thing, your brain's like, yeah, I don't think it comes, just come up with stuff. Just come up with, you don't have time today. You don't have any energy ever. And all of that is just to keep you in what we call the known zone, which is the state of homeostasis, what your brain knows. We just need to stay right here because it conserves energy and it communicates that we're safe. That's not sabotage. Actually, when you break that down, it's not sabotage. Like your brain is doing its job. And once we understand that your brain is doing its job, we take that information, we use it to your benefit. If we could get conditioned to be in that place and operate in that known zone, then that means I can change whatever the known zone is. I can decide that that's not where I want to live anymore. And how do we get there? Repetition. We got there through exposure and repetition. So now I know I need to expose myself to some new things, ideas, people, challenges, and then I need to do some actions with repetition, and it will create a new zone for me. And then I can decide when I want to push past that one.
Ooh.
So those are ways that I incorporate.
I love that. I'm sorry, what did you say?
I was just saying those are some of the ways that I take what I've learned, what I understand, and create plans that are utilizing that knowledge, even though I don't necessarily explain all of that all the time, and I don't remember all the terminology. I don't need to. What I do know is powerful enough to be able to craft a plan with somebody that is specific enough to their situation where they can do this process with less stress, less overwhelm, and a shorter timeline.
I love it. And I can tell the Boss Talkers love it too. Real Deal Bill Seal said, she is definitely someone I would love to talk to. It looks like she is definitely on the move to change the world. 100%. One human at a time. I love the way you broke that down just now. I'm so excited to hear you talk about these things. This is the stuff I live for. And so I love that you are out there doing this work. And Boss Talkers, question for you. What do you all want to know? So here's something. How about the things that you've done or worked on, compounded over a long period of time, after making that investment to commit to be intentional, you are just now starting to see the impact? So can you address that? Now, this is like maybe one of your people. Oh, I guess we're asking the Boss Talkers to put that in the chat. Let us know about something that you have worked on, and it seemed like forever, and now you're like, ding, 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 it's happening. You're starting to see that there's been an impact from the work that you've done. So you've changed that known zone into something that actually works well for you. All of that snap. Gwendolyn says, hey, Gigi, welcome. This is the other Gigi, Gwendolyn Goodman.
Okay. I love it. Yes.
Yes. Gwendolyn, are you listening? Because we need to get Nisa on the BWN stage. We like you. We are.
I appreciate you.
One of the members of one of the board members of the Black Women's Network, which I serve as the president, and we definitely are professional, and I'm losing my train of thought. A professional women's organization. We work with a lot of our members are entrepreneurs or professional women in other spaces and corporate spaces, and these are the kinds of tools and strategies that we live for. Yeah. And a lot of us are coaches. A lot of us are working in the public in this field, and I love the way that you make it so simple and so intriguing at the same time. It's like, oh, I want to know more. I want to do more. And so what do you do when you have a client who doesn't see what you see, who doesn't believe that they are the person that you're talking about, that they are not the person who can do this? That works for everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, one, I normalize that. I normalize it and I empathize with it, and I
Mhm,
help folks to understand it. In some place, that's been me. Like
mm,
I get it, right? I didn't think it was possible either, and now I'm at a place where you can't convince me otherwise. I don't care what
absolutely,
anybody comes up with. Change is
absolutely,
possible. But what I
absolutely.
would like, what I do, and what I'd want to understand who they think they are. If they're
Mm,
saying, well, that's not me and that doesn't work for me, now I'm gonna become even more curious about what it is that you actually think and believe about yourself. Then, like, so
mm,
okay, that's fine. Like that's fine. Let's roll with that. Let's roll with
yeah,
that. So tell me who you do think you are, and let's find the place that you actually do want to work from.
mhm,
You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to desire what I see for you. You don't
right,
have to desire that, but tell me what you do desire, and let's see if we can find a space to work from there. But the other
right,
thing that I do is I share that all of us are looking to have some really important questions answered about ourselves in life,
yes,
whether or not we matter, whether or not we're lovable, whether or not we're accepted, all these things. And as we grow up in our environments, it trains us and conditions us to give us the answers to those things. And one
mhm,
of the answers might be that somehow good stuff and impossibility happens for other people and it doesn't happen for me. Like that's one of the beliefs. And then we can reverse engineer that and identify, well, how did that end up showing up? Like you're just creating a loop for
mm,
yourself that's reinforcing a belief that somebody else gave you at a point that you didn't have any say so in whether or not you develop that belief about yourself. And
mhm,
so it maybe so, like let's put on a hat or a suit or something that we're going to call our just if maybe it's possible, just maybe so. Like let's
mhm,
just think about what if, like what if it was possible for you, what
yeah,
would that look like?
yes, come on,
Just
girl.
yeah, dream
Yeah,
let's just dream. Then like it doesn't have to be
mhm,
anything I'm saying at
mhm.
all. You tell me what you see for yourself and let's figure out where we go from there.
I love that. So you meet people where they are
Oh,
and help them to
absolutely.
see. I did a talk once for the Comeback Champions Summit. Shout out to Shay Brown, and it was called "What If Possibility Is a Choice." And
Oh,
so,
I love it.
yeah, so if we, and you're so right about what we have been conditioned to believe about
Mhm.
ourselves and how that shows up so much every day in the decisions that we make every day on whether or not we get up on time, whether or not we get to the place we're supposed to be early or on time. These are
Mhm.
all things that we operate from that we are not even aware of how they got ingrained into our neurons of our brain and how those things can be changed. They can be changed. People think that, well, this is the brain that I got, but don't you know that there's
Mhm.
something called neuroplasticity and your brain is all sitting there ready to change. All you got to do is give it
Mhm.
the okay, uh,
Yep.
and find yourself a Nisa and get busy with it. I love it so much, so much. So I want to ask, let's see what William says out there. He says, it looks like the Black women are becoming the Lewis Latimers of the day and may not be the inventors of the light bulb, but you sure are making a difference and a brighter day for others you encounter. Oh, that is so
Mhm.
beautiful. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Yes.
We are proud to be those Black women, huh? I
You
love,
know what? I'm grateful. You
yes,
know, I'm
absolutely.
absolutely grateful because I don't have to be here, but I am. And since I am, let's do the thing.
That's
Like
right.
that's where like let's
Right.
do the thing.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And to be chosen to
Mhm.
get to work with people in
Mhm.
their most vulnerable moments is such a
Mhm.
gift. Such a gift and a blessing. Absolutely. No, as a clinician, I often say that I am a container. Uh,
Mhm.
and so one of the things that we talked about earlier today in our chat with the entertainment ladies was that there's a stigma around mental health in the Black communities. So, how do you work against that? And what are your
Yes.
thoughts about it?
Yeah. The first thing, education around the reality that we talk about. mental health disorders, and I say we really as a collective, not just the African American community, but as in general, we tend to talk about mental health disorders and mental health interchangeably. Like we seem to use those words as if they're the same thing.
Come on, come
And the
on.
reality is that we all have mental health. We all have a mental health status condition of sorts. It's poor, it's fair, it's whatever it is. We all have that the same way that we have a physical health status. So just as an individual can have a physical health condition or disorder or illness, you can also have a mental health illness or disorder or condition, right? And so if we also bring it to the point I made earlier about all of this is happening in our brains, like you a whole person.
Mm-hmm.
You a whole person and your brain is in this body, and when something happens with your brain, do we not call that medical? So if we wanted to, like, let's even look at it from there. The issue that's happening is as a result of whatever imbalance that's happening with neurotransmitters or how things are firing again in your brain. How is that not medical? So let's talk about it from that place. So let's let's do that. And I do that. Like I share these things, these points with folks from that place, and then from there we can talk about, well, what do the symptoms look like that folks are experiencing, and how is it that we can show up and be helpful and supportive, because we could maybe help shorten the duration of an experience for someone. We could maybe intervene in a way that would help prevent the individual from experiencing the progression of an illness. So instead of looking at the individual and being scared to say something, let's get activated. Because what you're looking at right now today, and you're giving the side eye to because you don't quite understand, and we need to continue the education piece, that illness has a course. And if we do not attempt to intervene, it may progress to a point where later on you're looking at the individual and they have even less capacity and ability to function. So let's address it the same way we talk about go to the doctor, get your health checkups, do your preventative care, go get your annual visit once a month. Let's do that with our mental health as well.
I love that.
This is this stuff that's happening in this body, and we can decide to live in a proactive way, and then also use the reactive tools and supports and strategies when we need to.
Absolutely. I love that, because I talked about earlier that oftentimes when we go to the mental health doctor, we have already reached crises. And if you look at statistically, sometimes some of the illnesses that might take our lives also come from late discovery, late speaking up. Because we can be programmed in such a way that we go everywhere except to the doctor. And so let's get started having those conversations that it's okay to go right straight to the doctor when there's some malady in your body, a malfunction in your body. And a malfunction, it means mal means sick in French, y'all. So it means unwell. So when there's an unwell function happening in your body, whether it be the brain part of your body or your tummy or your heart or your whatever, it's important that we be proactive to go get it checked out. And so if you're feeling unwell in your mind, unwell in your brain, your heart, your spirit, your emotional spaces, let's get you to the mental health specialist so that you can feel better. And so I think more conversations like that. I love the way you break things down. I really do. It's so important to have your voice out there, because the way that you speak about things makes a person go, wait a minute. Oh, I can hear that. You know what I mean? And so thank you for that way of being, because it's so important that we speak in a language that we can understand, and a language that makes sense and makes us feel okay about ourselves. Because one of the things that happens, I know, is a lot of the conversation around mental health, people think, well, I'm not crazy. And it's like, no, and you don't need to be in order to come to, and what is crazy anyway? It's mostly trauma. And so I think that changing the language around all of it is important. And I think that it's opening the doors and continuing to open the doors. Here's a
Absolutely.
comment from Miss Linda Kirk. Hey, sis, how are you? Thank you for tuning in tonight. Isn't this like discovering your purpose in life? And I think that she's talking about what you were speaking about before, in coming from that, as Gwendolyn says, that known zone versus comfort zone 100. She likes that. Yes, yes. Linda says, amen. Seeking help with a therapist is so common now for all of us, like seeing a dentist for a toothache. And
Yes.
absolutely. And I'm
Yes.
so excited that that is starting to be the case. And I
Yes.
also think it's important that there are more and more of us that look like you and I out here,
Mhm.
Nisa, who are willing to help and being ready to help. And I also have to, give a shout out to those people that are not people of color, but who are allies, who are
Mhm.
advocating to understand better the needs of African Americans. And as part of my commitment to opening those doors, I do a talk called "What Every Therapist Needs to Know About Black Folks and Other People of Color" BIPOC,
Mhm.
and I get to do it tomorrow. So shout out to the Redland Empire, California Association of Marriage Family Therapists for having me. And we're gonna have an all day chat about these very
Mhm.
things. So I think that I applaud people who are willing to take their cultural competence to the next level,
Right.
really look at the neuroscience of what it is to be a Black person in America and how
Yeah.
that impacts our neuroscientific brain cells and situationships and all of that
Yeah. Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so important. Gwendolyn said, our society so needs more conversations and tools for less stress, overwhelm, and short time frame from the psychological community, given the state of the world since pandemic and 45's uncivilized behavior. And just all I want to say is amen
Mhm.
to that. Absolutely, Gwendolyn. So you were going to say something, Nisa, I thought. Go ahead.
I'm not sure what I was getting ready to say. The one thing I was thinking about, though, as you were speaking, is just the need for these conversations. Is it needs to just be commonplace. How do we get to the place where what all do we need to do, and you're doing it. You're doing it with these various conversations and platforms where you're illuminating the points for folks, and elevating the voices of individuals who can speak into these needs and these causes, and bringing people together who can help to facilitate exactly what was just shared in the comment there. Like we do need to have strategies that folks can grab hold to, like right now, because
Yeah.
what people are dealing with is it's a right now need, it's a right now situation. And it doesn't change that we need all the programs and the books and things like that. Absolutely not. Like, all we need, all of that's all part of the plan and process for each person. At the same time, we do that, and obviously I feel passionate about that because I'm working the way that I am.
Mm-hmm.
I understand if I am struggling to deal with day-to-day life, if I'm struggling to set aside 5 minutes of breathe properly, let
Mm-hmm.
alone practice some exercises. If I'm what I mean, like, just breathe well, the
Yes.
way you intended. If I'm struggling to do that, now, some of us figure it out. We figure out how to get enough energy and effort together and focus together to go through a book, follow it, do what it says, to go to a program and take that thing and run with it. That,
Mm-hmm.
at least in my experience, and especially working with specifically women who are working in the helping professions, who happen to also be mothers or wives or both, those individuals, what I've seen is that they need something a little bit more specific, here and now. Give me, because if you give me something and I don't experience a result within a short time frame, I may lose hope. And the thing, and then this is something that, like, there's something that I shared about myself, and I shared about other people who are doing this kind of work, and specifically about myself and others that I'd like to see continue these kinds of conversations, that you're somebody's hope and blueprint. Like
Yeah.
you are like you exactly where you are right now and what you've been through and the journey that you've been through. You're somebody's hope and blueprint. Like you're exactly what they need to see to believe that different is possible. And what they
Absolutely.
need is for you to hand them something that they can grab hold to. So anyway, I really, I appreciate the work that you're doing and those that who you've named and the different entities you've named as we've been, holding this conversation. And it's just necessary. And we just need you to keep shining. We just need you
Oh,
to keep shining.
absolutely. And you the same. I'm so glad that I caught that episode that I tuned into on Clubhouse that day and had the gift of getting to hear you speak and just what I loved about you then you have just personified so eloquently and beautifully here. And so I really want to thank you for all you do there in Ohio. And I'm excited to know that there's somebody in my home state that's really coming bringing the good stuff. So thank you. Linda says, yes, I totally agree. Right now is the time to seek help. Thank you.
Yes.
And let's see what Gwendolyn says. I think she fell in love with you. She says yes, yes to the BWN stage for this conversation, so needed by our following and our deeply flawed world, by psycho abusers like 45 still damaging people practicing cult like behavior or on unsuspecting. Yes, yes, yes. And Linda, also a member, by the way, of Black Women's Network, says, Amen. I love this real talk. Thank you. Absolutely. And I'm so sorry that we're about to have to bring it to a close, but I want y'all to be able to find yes, this here right here it gave me life. Life, the acronym, living inspired for excellence, and doing that through an on-demand lifestyle mindset and set of principles. Demand, decide to execute massive and or meaningful action and non-negotiable discipline. Life on demand, Nisa. That is so amazing. I'm gonna give y'all time. I know you got to see me. I got to stretch up, but I'm gonna give y'all time to screenshot that one because you might want to share that out because that is fantastic, and that is Nisa's Academy. So, Nisa, can you tell us about the Academy real quickly? Like, how do people get involved in the Academy?
Yes, absolutely. And I will say that for me, it's a movement. Is what it is, and it shows up in a few different ways. So there's the academy, where individuals there. If you go to any of my social pages, there is a link there where folks can actually set up a call with me to talk about whether or not they believe that they're interested and ready to do that level of work and to be met with that along the way. It's one-on-one or group services. And I also have a coaching program that I provide once a month. And right now it's actually at a introductory price that folks can join at and stay at right now. So that's held monthly. That is an membership, a coaching membership that folks have, where we have a live session once a month through Life on Demand Academy. And so again, that all that information is through the social networks if folks want to tap in there, and or lifeondemandacademy.com. Lifeondemandacademy.com.
Life on
Yeah,
Demand
so it
Academy.com. I'm going to get them to put that up.
yes.
And if you could put that information about the group that you're about to start in the chat, and they can put it up. You can put it in the private chat, and they can get it up for us. Praise
You can
God.
also
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying that information is at the website, and it's also in my social links, but I can put it in there.
Okay, and that's the link where they can get to all your goodies, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So we'll put that back up in a second. I just want to see. Time flies when we're having fun. Thank you for your incredible excellence. Now, you know, that's some real kind of excellence. Incredible excellence. And Diana says, praise God. This has been encouraging and powerful. Absolutely. So this, y'all, is where you can find all things Nisa right here at this link here. All of her links to her social media and to the Academy and all of that are right there. So, Nisa, if you would be so kind as to leave the Boss Talkers with your final thought, because I always like to get a final thought
Mm,
from my guests.
yeah, the final thought is that I would say that you are purpose. You
Mm,
are excellence in motion. You are greatness right where you stand. You are abundantly blessed to serve. You are meant for what is exactly created for you, and your experiences have uniquely equipped you to show up and walk with other folks through whatever it is that they're experiencing, and to benefit those in your immediate circle and create a ripple effect that will impact others throughout the world.
mm,
Whatever is going on, understand, come what may, you got this. Like,
mm,
come what may, you got this. And again, you are absolutely somebody's hope and blueprint. It is not necessary for you to have attained everything that you have on that goal journal, that vision board, or what have you. I love it. Let's keep doing them. But it is
mm.
not necessary for you to get all the way there to decide that you're going to show up and be the power that you have been created to be and impact this world. Please do it. Please do it now. You
Yeah.
are necessary. Hashtag you are necessary.
I love that. Thank you so, so very much. Boss Talkers, put your final comments in the chat to Nisa and thank her and let her know how much you appreciate her tonight on Boss Talk. You are necessary. That's absolutely true. And if you weren't here in the beginning, I want to introduce you to the Boss Talk puppy, Gentle. And don't worry, Gwen, I didn't go get a puppy because people are so much worried about that. But I'm the godmother, and I will be babysitting, and he will be the living loved therapy puppy. So say goodnight to Gentle, y'all. See how is that not the most precious face ever? Oh my gosh, you cannot. He's just beautiful. So I want to thank you all once again for tuning in to Boss Talk for this important conversation. And this is where you can connect with me at my website for therapy, livinglovedhealing.org, my coaching website, Living Loved Coaching, my Instagram at Living Loved Healing, and Facebook is the same. And you can always watch us here. You can watch my TED Talk, my TEDx Talk, right there at that link. You can go and see When the Fairy Tale Fades. And I want to give a shout out to all of my Boss Talk regulars, William Seals, Gigi, 1 and Gigi 2, Gigi Morris and Gwendolyn Goodman, Gigi, um, and Linda, who is becoming a regular, who is here often. And I want to thank you for commenting tonight and being a part of the conversation. I want you all to share this out and remember to ask your friends to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we want to thank you for being a part of Boss Talk yet once again on a Wednesday night. You could have been anywhere, but we're so grateful that you